Just a little over 2 weeks since I've installed the center stand, the official Yezdi Adventure center stand. Also put out the video on how I did it, and thanks for engaging on that. Quite a lot of you, I think, went at your service center to try and do it, and maybe a few of you showed them the video as well. I'm glad it helped. And a few of you complained of a few things about the center stand, which I also have been facing. So here's the thing. This is how the center stand behaves when you push it down. It doesn't come up. Okay, and I'm gonna dive into why that is happening with me. I'll open up the entire system here just to show you a little better. But you see the spring clamp here. The spring clamp here is a weak point. It cannot hold a lot of weight, and which is why the spring itself is not a very strong one. So it is just not able to lift up the spring back into place easily. Now there is a workaround that you make the main bolt that goes here a little bit loose, so it has a little bit more play, but I don't think that's the best way to do it, because that's an important part which shouldn't be loose. And the second way is to install a tighter, heavier spring. But the problem with that, and that is what I initially did, I had a spare spring from the previous stand lying around. I tried to fix it on the clamp, and that is when I realized that this is not as strong. I had my doubts, but it got cleared after I tried to install, and it got bent. This is what happened. I took a few pictures of the bend there, and I got it removed. It's a pretty simple removal. The bent removal, just take a long screwdriver and just pull it. It's back in place. Right now it is back in place. I have put it back in place, all good. But yeah, here's the thing. The spring is light. The spring clamp is a separate component, not part of the chassis or welded onto something, which is why it cannot hold heavier springs. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try to put a little bit of lube or grease in the bush here, the main bush. Try to open it up and introduce a little bit more play to see if that helps. And this is purely an experiment. I don't know how that will work. So I've loosened this quite a bit now. You see, the center stand won't have any issues going back up, but I cannot keep the screw loose here. And this is how the bracket is mounted here. You see, this is exactly how it moves up and down here. And this is also the reason this thing is very thin. Had it been a little bit more thick, maybe we could have installed a better spring. Hey, a quick thing before we watch the rest of the video. A lot has changed on my bike since the last time I shot that video, and with respect to this particular video, the center stand video, I'm not gonna dive much into what are the changes I've done in my bike, but obviously as I show you around the center stand, you will see a lot of changes that has happened on the bike. Now those are completely unrelated to the center stand, and I'll probably make a separate video about why I made whatever changes I made here. Feel free to comment down if you want to know what caused or what pushed me to make certain changes. But apart from that, quick thing about this type of maintenance videos and talking about various parts of the bike. I have a lot of people reach out to me after the last video, and one thing that I learned is a lot of you are trying to find ready-made solutions or well tried and tested products. Well, that was me as well, but the sad thing is, if you are buying a good motorcycle from a brand that has not marketed their stuff as well compared to other brands who have done very very good marketing, no matter how good or bad or whatever their motorcycles are, you will find it very difficult to find such type of products just being available from wherever you are trying to purchase it, be it from the OEM or from the aftermarket. I really want you folks who are watching this video until this far to spend time with your bike to understand why you need to make any certain changes, how you want to make it, and not rely completely on what is available in the market, because a lot of times it's not going to be, especially with the Yezdi Adventure or any other good motorcycle which doesn't have a very large aftermarket presence. See, it takes time, it takes patience to figure out if something is not working in your bike, and there is nothing that is not fixable, especially with this type of iron parts, which can be welded, which can be given a different shape, which can be made into various things. So it completely depends on you as the rider, as the motorcyclist, as the owner of the bike. How much are you willing to put in to make sure that your bike and you have the right experience, not for others, not for showing to others, but what you feel when you ride it. Having that said, that's quite a long explanation I did. Here's what the center stand currently looks like. So the bike has changed a lot, but let's focus on the center stand. Currently I have a dual spring system. We tried a lot of designs. I have a very experienced fabricator who sits out of Bangalore, and he has spent about 30 years into this industry, if not more, learning and making the craft, mastering the craft. So we tried a few iterations, we tried a few designs, some worked, some didn't, but at the end this is what we found to be working the best. A 2-clamp system. Okay, so here is one clamp. This design is similar to the Mad Over bikes center stand. They also had a similar clamp on the left side foot peg. So that is one thing. This and spring goes here, you have to weld this spring hook here and then just attach a spring. And on the other side, stuff remains pretty much same. You can see a lot has changed. But yeah, coming back to the center stand, this I have put a heavier spring along with the clamp. I'm not sure if the clamp is very well visible, but the clamp I have kept the same design but reinforced it with a thicker metal plate, so this does not bend, and this is precisely of the same width to fit in this particular space. It is very thin, so it is important that the width of the clamp that we make is same. So some of you may not require to change the right side clamp, some of you may need to change, but that completely depends on how bent or how affected your clamp is. You may need to change, you may not need to change the right side clamp, but the left side clamp is something that has been working so far so good for me, and there is absolutely no problem with the chain touching or the ground clearance. I have done extreme off-roading. I have crossed about 1,000 kilometers or more, with just this particular design, and absolutely no problem whatsoever. There is no interference with the chain. There is enough space, and so it is possible for one person to lift it, but make sure you have your fitness in check. So see, there is absolutely no problem putting on the center stand, but I did make some changes on the side stand here because it was touching a little bit. You can see it still touches over here, but this is only when the center stand is in use or is down. I hardly need to put any put the side stand, so I'm okay with that takeaway. This also can be fixed, but I'm just at this point I'm just lazy to fix that part. But here it is. This works fine. There's enough good enough ground clearance for the rear tire. I have changed the wheels, changed the tires, absolutely no problem, completely dependable. I'll quickly show you what happens when I take it off the center stand. So you can see it came up in one go. The noise that you just heard was this part touching the foot peg here. You can also see the sari guard is missing. Don't need it, so I took it off. But yeah, it touches here, and this can be fixed with another rubber bush. But at this point, I'm just okay with not having it in place. I may fix it later, but yeah. So far so good. You can see even at the closest level is this much, and there is enough slack. This is good enough slack, and it doesn't touch the center stand even while riding in off-road conditions as well. There you go. That's the solution. That's how I have been running for a long time now. Just to reiterate, only do it if you are okay with spending time going to a fabricator and trying it out. I'm obviously not trying to encourage anybody to play around and mess around with their bike doing welding and stuff, but understand that if you want something like this which is directly not available from the OEM, then please spend time. That's all. It's not very difficult, and it just works fine for me now. I am pretty sure that's gonna be a ton of questions, but happy to answer, happy to redirect or share whatever information I have about this, and share it with someone who is looking for this video, who is looking to understand more about the issues I faced and how I resolved those. And with that, thank you so much. Like, share, subscribe. Bye.